Hello together, this is Christian Schütte, and today I would like to introduce to you the way how I execute initial project planning for SAP projects, facilitating the tools which we have provided in our DigiStore here. So what we do have is a milestone planning in Excel format, a milestone, let's say, provision for steering committees and other committees in PowerPoint format, and a certain collection of ASAP MS project plans. So what I'm doing is I start always with the Excel milestone planning, where I do have my big work streams like conversion, like customizing, interfaces, forms, development, authorizations. In the rows and in the columns I have like fortnight or monthly steps, and there I plan for each of these work streams the key deliverables which they have to produce in a logical sense. This is what I agree with the workstream leads, that they are meeting these milestones. So when I've done this milestone planning, and what is important to consider, that we do have, from a project management point of view, a certain point where everything needs to be in sync. Like when we want to go to do the integration testing, to start integration testing, we need to have like all developments finished, all configuration finished, the data conversion, mock load 1 or 2 should be executed in order to have data for testing. So we need to consider in all work streams process to be ready what we want to use in our integration test or further testing, integration test 2, user acceptance test, and whatever is coming up. So when we do have these milestones, we can transfer those in the format to show it to the steering committee, where we can, for example, distinguish, like we have done here, in the mainly IT-related deliverables and the mainly business-related deliverables. And there we do have just a simple scheme of showing whether a milestone is overdue, done, planned, or also a major milestone. So when we have done this work in this Excel format, the PowerPoint is not really mandatory to do. Then we can use one of our ASAP MS project templates, which is best supporting the actual situation what we have. So do we have a single site first time implementation, or do we have an upgrade project? Do we want to set up a global program with a global program template and then certain rollouts? So we are taking this template and we are using this template and putting our major milestones in here and adding all the necessary steps, the major milestones from the Excel, and adding all the necessary steps which are already provided in this ASAP. This is SAP standard implementation method in R3, and due to my experience, it's still completely valid for S4HANA implementations as well. We need to consider some different additional things, but this is described in my blog and is more content related than other stuff. So what you also find here is a sample project plan, MS project. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. I did the wrong starting sequence. So I need to use my MS project, and then I can simply start it from here. So what you do have here is an MS project sample plan, which was about 1600 steps from multi-site implementation, going from a non-SAP system to SAP, and you will find a lot of steps to consider in organizational preparation, as well as proven and good practice data load sequences and preparational steps. I also recommend not to use the resource planning in MS Project, but to use some columns in MS Project to assign the responsible or accountable people, also the system where things are executed in. Because if we're doing it like this way, we're not dependent on the resource usability calculation, and we can use MS Project in this way just for doing time and dependency planning, what according to my experience is a much better practice than doing it the other way around in SAP implementations. Okay, that's what you get. So when you have done your project planning, you can then again update your milestones and go to your steering committee. What I also can show you, what I always did in my projects, I open it again, is that I always put the major milestones at the end, as well as the major phases, so that I am able to simply take like a certain view out of here and present this to the steering committee, also like a milestone planning straight out of MS Project. Okay, so hope you got some ideas how to facilitate and use these tools, and I wish you a successful project planning and execution. If you need a little bit support or have some questions, don't hesitate to ask those. Thank you very much. This is Christian Schutte from SAP Experience.